Okay guys, me and Sadie here. What we have here is some bear fat, and we're gonna make a video on how to render this bear fat into cooking oil or oil you can use for pastries or whatever you want to do with it. So we did this last year. We had a lot of fun doing it. What you're gonna need is some kind of a mesh bag for straining the rendered fat, bear fat, obviously, jars. You don't have to can these, but jars with a lid. You know, I save like some honey jars here they come with a lid, so I save those for this kind of stuff. You're gonna need a grinder if you want to grind this and get a higher yield, which is what we do. If you don't have a grinder, you can cut this up into smaller pieces and then boil it down. And then just some mixing bowls and something to boil the fat in. So it's pretty easy to do, a little time consuming, but not bad. So we're gonna kind of take you through how we do it, and then just go from there. So what do you think, Sadie?
I think it's gonna be fun.
Okay, so the first step for us is gonna be taking this bear fat that we have. I've let it thaw out a little bit. I freeze it, and then if you're gonna grind it, it helps to grind like half thawed. It just runs through your grinder better. So I'm gonna take this fat that I have and cut this up into grindable chunks, and then we're gonna grind it, and we should have a nice mound of ground up bear fat. So we'll check back in on that.
You might have to finish this too hard.
All right, so you can kind of see this is still semi-frozen, which is perfect because by the time I get done cutting all of it, it's gonna be ready to grind. So for my grinder, chunks like this are just perfect. So I'll just throw this back in as I cut it. And I got quite a bit of it here, so I won't film cutting all of it, but these thinner pieces here, just cut them up, throw them in. And then once all that is done, we'll run it through the grinder. Just one grind, like a coarse grind. It doesn't have to be fine or anything. And that will bring you a higher yield or more grease basically at the end of this. So just taking this little extra time is worth it to me. So that's the next step that we do. Okay, so now we got all of our fat here cut up into the chunks we want, and now we're gonna grind it into this bowl, and then we'll have nice ground bear fat. And then from there, we'll take it over and start rendering it down over at the burner. So here we go. See how good it grinds. Throw it in there so that it does one?
Yeah.
Keep going. Oop, I gotta cut this one extra. Okay, so now you see we're done grinding. We got this beautiful bowl of bear fat here, quite a bit. I didn't weigh it, but I don't know, 20-25 pounds of bear fat. So we'll get the equipment soaking so it's easier to clean up. And then we're gonna take it over, get a pan going, a pot, warming up, nice and hot. And what you do is you just kind of boil this fat down, and we'll show you, until it turns into a liquid form. Strain it into jars, and that's it. So next step is getting a turkey burner going with a pot and getting some fat rendered. So let's go. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is get the turkey burner going, and then start melting the fat down nice and slow. You don't want to do it super fast. Just get it rendered down to a liquid. Then we'll pour it into this pot, strain it through this cheesecloth bag. I just use a colander to kind of hold that bag in place. And I usually double strain mine. I don't know if you need to, but I like to strain it twice. and then we'll be pouring it into the jar. So it should go pretty quick. Now, let's get this started. Okay. Try not to drop any. Just trying to get the heat just right. So you want it hot enough to melt the fat, but not burn the fat.
More? Do you think that's good for now?
Yeah, you can put a little more in there. There you go. So this is the most time-consuming part, is just letting it render down nice and slow. Again, you don't want to burn the fat or overcook it, give it a bad rancid taste or something. You just want to go slow, keep stirring it so it's not burning on the bottom, and pretty soon you'll have nice clear liquid. Go ahead and throw some more in, Sadie. Okay, so this is kind of what it's going to look like right before you pour it out. Got some cracklings in there. All that floating stuff be the stuff that we strain out, and then you can see all the liquid. So this batch is about ready to pour out, and we'll go from there. What do you think, Sadie?
This is a fun activity. It takes a long time, and the bees really like the fat.
The bees, yeah.
Yes.
There's all the fat. So we got a ways to go. So let's strain this out. That stuff on the bottoms, when we just put a couple tester pieces in, the pan was already pretty hot. And you kind of see it looks like kind of like ground pork burger or something when you're done. Start loading that back up again, Sadie, with fat. And then what we have here, be careful, honey, is just the excess cracklings and meat and stuff that came off with the fat. You can't render that any down any more than what it already is. So just kind of let that drain off a little bit, and we'll dump that and keep going.
More? Is that good?
Yep, keep going. You can see I'm squeezing a little extra, getting greedy and trying to get all I can get, but trying to squeeze a little extra oil out of this stuff that's trapped in here. It's hot, so I want to be careful. You can see how much extra I'm getting out of that, just squeezing the fat out of it. It's probably about all I'll get there. So out of all that fat we had, about a deer heart size of waste, and just set that aside for now. That's nice, clean looking bear fat there. So just so you can see it now, we'll take this, and you want to let it cool a little bit so you don't break your glass jars. But you're going to take this now, and I'll just strain this one once so you can take a look at it. Got a little funnel in here. You can just see how clear that stuff is. And then I fill it up right about to the neck. And that's what we're after right there. Just beautiful. This will set up and turn white in the fridge when it gets cold. And that's how we do it. We store it in the fridge, just scoop it out with a spoon, put it in the pan or whatever you're using it for. So we're just gonna keep repeating that process. Okay, so about to take our second pot off. We're gonna strain it. I actually use this called a berry mesh bag. It's not cheesecloth, and you can wash them and reuse them. I've had really good luck with them. Making alcohol and different things. So berry mesh, if you're interested, you can reuse them. Like I said, throw them in the dishwasher, wash them up. So there's that. We'll let that start cooling. Again, it's important to cool it before you put it back in the jar. You don't want to break your jars. It's pretty warm out today, so that's nice. Go ahead, honey, start loading it up. And then you just keep repeating this process until you're done with all the fat. So we got a ways to go, but it's fun. It's a good way to spend time with my best friend. So this is one of our last days. We have time to do this in between soccer and work and deer season with Sadie coming up. So take advantage of the days that you have. That should be good for now, honey.
Okay.
So there we go. Okay, so this is the last batch we boiled down. So just gonna tell me when, Sadie. Just gonna finish topping.
A little bit, like that, because it was pretty full. I'm not sure 100%. Oh yeah, we still got some.
You see better now?
Okay, go ahead. Stop.
Like I said, I like to double strain mine. So I'll strain it into the pot and then I'll strain it again into the jar. And I got old Sadie kind of spotting for me, telling me when to stop pouring. So we got quite a bit here. I'm pretty happy with this yield. That's the last jar there.
Okay.
So let's see what we ended up with. Careful, don't knock those off. That's pretty good. We end up with 13 pints. We'll just kind of let them cool down before we put them in the fridge. And pretty happy with that. So that's basically from start to finish. You know, besides trimming the fat off the bear and everything, that's how we do it. So I had frozen that bear fat, been frozen a few weeks maybe, and just waiting for when I had time. Cut it up small, run it through the grinder, render it down. You can do it in your house. It does smell a little, but not bad. So this old picnic table works good because you get a little grease somewhere, and this will be some nice cooking oil for us. I use it all the time in the house, so, and give it to friends and stuff. So it's just one more thing that I like to do to honor and respect the animals that we take, is try to use as much of that animal as you can. So hope you like this video. Leave questions, comments, thumbs up, and subscribe. That'll help us out a lot. So you got any final thoughts, Sadie Bugs?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, be looking in the future too. I'm going to try to dedicate a lot of time with Sadie this year and make a deer hunting video. So go ahead and subscribe, tell your friends.